Hey everyone, it's been a little while since I've made a video, but it's final season again, so here we are. Considering that you've already seen the title of this video, I'm sure that many people already have strong feelings bubbling up, so I want to rattle off a series of disclaimers to clear up where I'm coming from with this video. Disclaimer number 1, critical disability studies and efforts to combat ableism should be approached with the same sincerity and rigor as any other fight against prejudice and injustice. So if your gut reaction to hearing someone talk about issues surrounding the disabled community is, well, why should I care? It's not really a big deal, then I would recommend you don't start your education on the subject here, but rather pick up any number of the books I'm flashing on screen right now, and you can come back when we're on the same page. Disclaimer number 2, I am by no means here to make prescriptive claims. On top of not being a disabled person myself, and thus not any sort of authority when it comes to lived experience, I also find it generally unhelpful to label a genre of content as inherently ableist, and with conversations like this that come with so much baggage, the nuance is very important to parse out. I'm much less interested in finger pointing as I am in amplifying the already existing conversation. Disclaimer number 3, I promise this is the last one. I think it's important to state this outright that I don't dislike these videos per se. In fact, I found Kyle's channel quite entertaining as a whole, and the examples I plan to bring forward are videos that I laughed at or at least enjoyed somewhat on my first watch. The video that sparked my interest in exploring this topic is the first in a series by Kyle Gordon on TikTok called No Fun Kid. More specifically, the kid that's no fun comes to dinner.
Wait, you guys got Boston Market? My mom told you I need a healthy option! Everyone stop! We need to say grace! Greg, stop! You can't have seconds till everyone's had their first portion! Miss DiPietro, did you know that actually the spoon goes on the outside of the knife? Greg, you're supposed to be watching your weight. Put that back. Hello! I was in the middle of telling a story! So bionicles are technically not robots, they're mechanoids.
Before going further, it's worth noting that this video has 2.4 million views and 20,000 comments, so this video obviously has a lot of eyes on it, and makes it quite easy to find several response videos from multiple perspectives. At least from my point of view, it's understandable why someone may find this video to be compelling. As with many videos in this genre, it plays up a caricature that many of us are familiar with. On top of Kyle already having a sizable following, the performance of this video could easily be attributed to how resonant the character can be to a myriad of viewers. However, as I'm sure you could guess, the familiarity of this character could also be chalked up to its utilization of tropes commonly associated with those on the autism spectrum. I'll let TikTok user Seb B give his 2 cents on the video.
Wait, you guys got Boston Market? My mom told you I need a healthy option! Everyone stop! We need to say grace! Greg, stop! You can't have seconds till everyone's had their first portion! Miss DiPietro, did you know that actually the spoon goes on the outside of the knife? Greg, you're supposed to be watching your weight. Put that back. Hello! I was in the middle of telling a story! So bionicles are technically not robots, they're mechanoids.
The points he makes are supported directly by information easily found on the National Autism Association's website. I find Sebi's critique here to be fairly uncontroversial. It is undoubtedly the case that the character played by Kyle Gordon in the video shares many attributes in common with those on the autism spectrum. I will come back to Sebi's video later, but I think it's important to note that this is not the only viewpoint on the issue being levied by neurodivergent creators. For example, Very Tired Sophie has a completely different perspective on the video.
Popular opinion, this isn't ableist, but you know what is ableist? Treating autism and ADHD and associating neurodivergent with annoying people. By saying anyone making fun of someone who's annoying or an annoying archetype, saying that they're coded to be autistic, or have ADHD or any other learning disability actually really pisses me off. Because I'm like, not every annoying person is neurodivergent. Why do you associate them with that?
It's for precisely this reason I aim not to make any prescriptive claims around the issue. In fact, I think that both Sebi and Very Tired Sophie can be correct in tandem with one another. It's not the case that the video is simply ableist, but that it plays off of ableist tropes, and thus must be examined critically and not passively. Make no mistake, this is not really a both sides argument. Rather, I just think that Sophie brings up a crucial point. Does it not contribute to ableism by creating a link between annoying and neurodivergent? I really hate to transition on an open question, but let's return quickly to Sebi's video. Although seldom a good idea, a quick look through the comments section of this video is very telling. Look up a joke, please. You must be fun at parties. This is a reach. The list goes on. It feels important to highlight that there was a stark difference between the reactions in the comments on each of the two video responses I showed. Sophie's comments are largely positive, saying things like, "Thank you for sharing this," or "So many dog whistles are really just people projecting." Whereas the reaction to Sebi's was obviously far less appreciative. It could be chalked up to simple confirmation bias. Most people didn't or don't see an issue with the video, so when someone steps up to defend it, that stance will get far more support. However, I think it's slightly more complex. The 2012 book Routledge Handbook of Disability Studies, edited by Nick Watson, features a piece by David Bolt, scholar and director of the Center for Culture and Disability Studies at Liverpool Hope University. The essay, Social Encounters, Cultural Representation, and Critical Avoidance, helps to illuminate what may be at the root of this discrepancy. For although the field of cultural disability studies is undoubtedly growing, it remains generally ignored within the humanities. In effect, the avoidance that results from some encounters between those of us who have impairments and those of us who do not have impairments is duplicated in the academy on a curricular level. It is to this scenario that I attach the label critical avoidance. In my view, the vitriol often hurled towards those for speaking out against ableism is often rooted in an intentional ignorance around the field of disability as a means of self-preservation. I had some other stuff written here about why this might be the case, but I just watched PhilosophyTube's most recent video, and she described this phenomenon far more concisely than I had planned. So I'll let her take the reins very briefly.
For instance, I am not, at time of recording, a vegetarian. Maybe I will be someday. I have tried a few times, and if I'm honest, it made me pretty miserable. But I am aware, because I have vegetarian and vegan friends, that if I were to really look into what factory farming is like, it's possible that would make me even more miserable than not eating meat would. And so, I don't look into it. In order to avoid being miserable, I deliberately remain ignorant. And most of the time, I don't even think about that ignorance. I'm deliberately ignorant of my deliberate ignorance. This is an example of what philosopher Jennifer Foster calls Doxastic anxiety. That's anxiety about forming beliefs. I don't want to believe that eating meat is wrong, so I remain deliberately ignorant of anything that might change my mind.
The phrase doxastic anxiety appears to be at the root of this entire collection of videos, both from the creators and the viewers. I want to show a brief clip from a Kyle Gordon video that I believe exemplifies this further. He did a quick series called Exposing Kyle Gordon, a sort of tongue-in-cheek satire of the exposed drama content that finds its way onto TikTok and YouTube. This is how he starts part 3 of the series.
Exposing Kyle Gordon, Part 3. So as you know, in this series, I am exposing creator Kyle Gordon is great. You probably know him as the kid that's no fun. I just want to let you know about his disgraceful, horrible life.
I'm cutting it off here. He then goes on to tell a comedic story involving an embarrassing bathroom-related incident at summer camp, which is entirely irrelevant to the annoying kid video to which he makes reference at the start. I picked this clip out intentionally because I think it would be impossible for Kyle not to be aware of the backlash his content has received. As I mentioned up front, that is his most popular video from that series, and it has 20,000 comments, many of which call into question the intent of his comedy. I don't think that Kyle is a bad person, nor is that really my place, nor is that really relevant to the topic in the slightest. I do, however, think he is guilty of Doxastic cowardice. If Kyle was to truly interrogate his content and view it with a critical lens, he would likely realize its ableist tendencies. However, that would then lead to the end of his most popular, and for that matter, most profitable character. The same can be said for those commenting on Sebi's videos in defense of Kyle. Sebi is engaging with the content thoughtfully and addressing its pernicious elements. This, for many, is too much, as it forces a reconciliation of people's desire to enjoy comedy and to not offend others. Importantly, the comments in defense of Kyle are not those saying, yes, he is making fun of autistic kids, and that's what's funny, because it's hilarious to make fun of neurodivergent people. No, it's never that. It's always, you're reading too much into this. It's a joke. Can't you take a joke? And so on. Thank you so much to anyone who took the time to watch this video and found it helpful. I'll reiterate, I don't think Kyle is some irredeemable villain, nor do I think he's the most insidious creator on the platform. I simply think that he and the rest of us will benefit from taking these conversations seriously and reflecting when confronted with marginalized groups speaking out about their oppression. So this is where my video was going to end, this is where my script ends, but I found this TikTok video while trying to compile clips for the final project that I've got here, and I really changed kind of a lot of my perspective on this based off of the video, so I'm going to play that right now.
I am once again talking about Kyle because he just added a new video to his series 3 hours ago. So many people have told him there's an issue here, but he doesn't seem to understand it, so I'm gonna break apart his stuff and tell you guys what the problem is. Even though he's gotten so many people telling him there's something wrong, he keeps making them because look how well his video is doing. He's getting views, he's getting paid for it, he doesn't care about the autistic community. First off, look at the way he is standing. Here is a screenshot to prove this was intentional. A lot of autistic people have posture issues. And no, not all of them do, but his character is the most stereotypical autistic character I've ever seen. This is not as noticeable, but look at the way he's holding his pencil. And once again, this was intentional. Another very common thing with autism is having a weird pencil grip. And for the people saying he's making fun of the way he acted as a kid, no, he's not. Look at this.
After watching this, I think it's fairly clear that a lot of the good faith that I approached Kyle Gordon with in this video might have been misplaced, as this does come across as quite overt, quite calculated, and the fact that he is in the comments section engaging with these people saying this while deciding to ignore the people who are calling into question the ableist nature of a lot of his videos is certainly unsightly and makes everything that he's posting far less benign and leaves a real sour taste in my mouth. Thanks so much to Sophie Squishy for posting this video, and I just wanted to include this before my outro and say, while I do still stand by a lot of what I said earlier, I am now willing to make prescriptive claims, and say, I think Kyle Gordon kind of sucks, and he should really stop doing this, especially if he wants to kind of continue a blossoming career in comedy, because he's got some good stuff, but this is definitely not it and should seriously stop as far as I'm concerned. That's all I got. Sorry for the kind of awkward end, but I figured that this was necessary to put in, so I'm not going to regret this later on after sitting with this video even longer. Take care. Bye.